Good afternoon. This is Bob Quillen from Team Rhino, and I just want to take a couple minutes and share with you a testimony of what has happened in our company recently with the team and the life business support system and their new tools. Last Tuesday, which is a couple days ago, we were having one of our bi-weekly self-development meetings here at Quillen Brothers, and I was given the crew that I have an analogy of some of the struggles that I go through on a daily basis. Sometimes when you're the owner of the company, or you're a vice president of a company, or you're a top management of a company, people think that we don't have challenges and we don't have problems. And so I was sharing with the group some of the struggles that I go through on a daily basis, and one of my struggles is my mind and my personal self-talk. I by nature am a night owl. I stay up at night, I talk to people about this business, I get fired up, I get excited, I get home at 11 or 12 at night, and I can't sleep because I'm so excited about what's going on. So it may be 1:30, 2 o'clock before I decide to hit the bed. I am totally against mornings. I think they ought to be illegal. I do not believe in alarm clocks, and I despise getting up any earlier than what my bladder tells me I have to get up at. But recently, about 8 weeks ago, I made a commitment to an employee of ours who was having a weight challenge, and he really wanted to work out and get himself in shape. And so I made a commitment to him on Labor Day that I would work out with him every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. And at 7:10 every day when my alarm clock goes off, I swear his name. I do not like him for about 50 minutes. It irritates me beyond measure that I have to get up that early, and I can talk myself out of it every day, but I don't, because I love this person and I care about them and I want to help them as much as I can. And so the dividends is paying off. This gentleman has lost 35 pounds since Labor Day, and I'm extremely proud of him, but it hasn't come without pain and it hasn't come without sacrifice. And so if you can imagine, I get up in the morning and I'm a grumpy old man. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this. This is ridiculous. It's gray here in Ohio. It's cold in Ohio. The sun's not shining in Ohio. What's going on? And I will moan and groan and grumble all the way until I sit my butt in that Escalade. And then all of a sudden, when I jump in my University on Wheels, I force myself to pop in a CD because I can't stand the sound of myself. And so I can imagine what my family feels when I'm in the house for the 10 or 15 minutes that they deal with. And the other day, on Tuesday, I was on my way to the gym and I popped in Orange CD. And from my house to the gym that we work out at is about a 10-minute drive. Within 10 minutes, I was laughing, I was inspired, I felt like Superman. I was like, oh my gosh, Orange is filling my hope tank so much, I felt unstoppable. By the time I got to the gym that we were working out at, I jumped out of the car and I said, I pity the fool that stands in my way today, because I felt unstoppable. And I started asking myself, what changed in the last 10 minutes? And it was very simple in my eyes. I realized it was the information that I was pouring into myself because I wasn't strong enough to have the right self-talk. But by shutting myself up, shutting my mind up, and putting some of Oren's positive reinforcement in me, it transformed me in just 10 minutes. I really noticed this when I got out of my car at the Y and I'm like, I'm fired up, I'm ready to go, I'm kicking the world's butt today, things are going to happen, I'm a rhino, I'm charging. And I looked at my brother when he got out of his car and he looked like a sluggard. He was mopey and groany and his shoulders were kind of bent over and he's like, oh, I don't want to be here, it's cold out. And I'm like, come on, you got to be fired up, you got to be excited. And he's looking at me and he's like, dude, you need to get off the caffeine. And I said, I'm not on caffeine, I'm on life. I'm on these materials. And he just started laughing at me. And before a couple minutes later, I had him inspired. Why do I talk about that? Because the attitude shift that took place in 10 minutes in my own life was a very educational moment for me. And so I come into the self-development meeting with my company and my team, and I share this with them, letting them know, hey, I'm human. I have the same challenges you do. I just have a tool right here that can kind of calm me out or level me out or whatever you want to say, chip away the old Bob Quillen that I don't like. And so I struggle with this daily because in some of my readings and some of my teachings and some of the pastors that I counsel with, they say, Bob, as a Christian we have three different parts of us. We have a mind which remembers nothing but of our experiences up to our point in this life. we have a body, which is our senses, see, touch, and feel, and we have a soul. And what happens is every day we wake up and our soul's trying to talk to us. Our soul's trying to say, I want to do good today. I want to be a better person. I want to quit doing this. I want to lose weight. I want to quit swearing. I want to quit getting angry. I want to treat my wife better. I want to. And so we have these yearnings deep down in our gut that says, I want to be something great. But within a couple hours, we sin or we fall short, and then we get frustrated. We're like, oh man, I failed again. What's my stinking problem here? And so then we feel regret. Then we feel remorse. Then we feel pity. And what I'm being taught through this life system is, it's very simple. Your soul is trying to talk to you. God is trying to lead you, and you need to feed that soul. You need to flood that soul. And just in 10 minutes, by me feeding my soul in the morning, I was able to transform my total outlook on the day. And so I was giving this talk, and I was sharing with the team that I have about this experience, and all of a sudden, our CD that we decided to listen to as a company that day was the 13 Resolutions of Life by Orrin Woodward. And in that CD, Orrin said the same thing. You've got a mind, a body, and a soul, and you've got to feed the mind, you've got to feed the soul, you've got to give it the right nutrients. And it tied right into my life experience that I was talking about earlier. So as a company owner, I was asking myself, how do I get people to buy into this system? I have an advertising and a marketing division that I have 6 employees in. I have a sales division that I have 6 employees in. And I have 12 people here at the company on system. And I was asking myself, how do I get them to buy into the power of what we have a hold of? And so I started thinking about it, and I said, if I can just get these team members to buy into what we're doing, their lives will change, because my life is changing on a daily basis. And so what I did is I set up a competition. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down into 2 different groups. We're going to have our advertising division and our marketing division, which comes to 6 employees, be Group A. And we're going to have our sales division, which is 6 employees, be Group B. And we're going to have a winner in each category. So you're only competing against people of your peers. Sales isn't competing against marketing. Marketing's not competing against sales. They're competing amongst each other in their own field or profession. And so by having 12 employees do this, here's what I offered them. I said, I want to have a CD listening contest. Because after listening to Orrin Woodward's 13 Resolutions of Life, they were fired up. They could, just that 50 minutes of information in their life that day, they were ready to tackle the world. And so selling this idea to them on Tuesday was not hard. So we set up an incentive program that said this. In each category, we're going to track how many CDs we listen to as individuals, and we're going to report it daily. Now this was based on the honor system. And I said, I have to trust you, I have to believe in you, there has to be integrity, and if you don't have those problems, if you don't have those characteristics, then obviously you probably don't need to work here, because you're not going to be a good employee anyway. So I'm asking for your trust and your honesty on this. And so the competition that I set out for the team was, track the number of CDs you listen to every day. Write down the date you listen to them, the time you listen to them, what the CD was named, and who the speaker was. And at the end of this competition, I want you to write me a quick letter on who your favorite CD was, your favorite speaker, and the biggest experience that you got out of this. So marketing and advertising, you're competing against 6 people. Sales, you're competing against 6 people. And out of those 6 people, one of you is going to be the top dog. One of you is going to listen to the most CDs, and I set it for a 12-day incentive time. It goes from September 8th until September 20th. And I personally thought, you know what, these people will probably listen to 1 or 2 CDs a day. And so I was thinking in my mind, if I could just get each employee to listen to 1, possibly the go-getters, 2 CDs a day, I'm going to transform this company. They're going to be on fire. They're going to be unstoppable. And so what I said was, the winner in each category, for every CD you listen to, as the owner of the company, I will pay you $20. And so if you listen to 50 CDs, I'm going to pay you $1,000 if you're the winner. They looked at me and they started doing backflips. And I got some heavy people that work for me. I mean, the earth trembled when they did backflips. Then I said, think about this. If you listen to 100 CDs in the next 12 days, I will pay you $2,000. So coming out of my pocket is the potential of $4,000 $2,000 to the marketing winner, $2,000 to the sales winner, which is a small investment because I know the intangibles, I know the people that they will become out of this investment. Well, my team embraced this and they got so excited, and I tracked the results after the first day and I was mesmerized. I was absolutely speechless because in the first day, my team of 12 people listened to 71 CDs. We've been in this competition now for 48 hours, 2 days, and we've listened to 128 CDs. 128 life team CDs has been poured into this organization for an average of 10.6 CDs per employee. Man, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I'm so stinking excited because these people's lives are changing. And you may say, well, yeah, well, Bob, you're getting them all fired up. You're getting them all rah-rah. But what's the results? If you're a business owner out there, I know that's what you're asking yourself. Give me the facts. What is the result? Is this a worthy investment? Would this program work for my company? Let me tell you something. The results the first night to me was overwhelming. I had a sales rep go out to a house, and our average in-house presentation may be 2 to 2.5 hours. He was in that house for 5 hours, and he texted me afterwards and said, Bob, I just got out of the house. I was in there 5 hours. The first thing I thought is, oh my God, the Attorney State General or the Better Business Bureau is going to come after me for this one. But he was just laughing. He said, I couldn't leave. He said, I had to get the sale. He said, I made a $15,162 sale because I had Tim Marks and Chris Brady in my head, and I refused to leave that house without a victory. He said it. He said, I would never have gotten that sale if I wouldn't have listened to 2 CDs on my way to that appointment. And I started thinking about that. I thought, holy cow, this salesman just made an extra $1,562 profit in his commission check because he had the guts and the courage to listen to 2 CDs and get his mind set right before that appointment. Me as a company owner, on my profitability, I made $1,500 to $1,700 profit just from that one extra sale that night. And so that pays for 1/3 to half of my incentive pay. So I started tracking the numbers, and in the last 2 days, our staff has sent me text messages or email messages claiming to have sold $43,141 worth of extra sales above and beyond what they ordinarily said they would have sold by themselves, because their attitude was better, their relatability was better, their people skills was better, their expectancy was better, their hope was better, and they were just better, well-rounded, prepared people. And I started thinking about that. I thought, you know what? My company just profited over $4,500 from those extra sales. This incentive program has already paid for itself in day number 2 from a businessman's point of view. So I challenge you, if you're a business owner, get your company on this program. Get your salespeople on this program. Get your leaders and your managers on this program. This thing will pay dividends like you will never imagine. Some of the testimonials that I got as I wrap up here, that was probably the most touching to me, is I had an employee by the name of Max. He said, Bob, he said, I'm recently new to team. I'm recently new to this system. I just went down to Columbus in the National Leadership Convention. I'm really excited, but I didn't know what I got my hands on. But when you stuck that incentive out, I got off work at 9 o'clock at night. I went home and I listened to CDs until 2 o'clock in the morning. I then went to sleep from 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock. I got up, and by 7 o'clock I had more CDs in me. These CDs are inspiring me like I'd never known. I listened to a CD, and I forget the CD name, but he said the speaker was Bill Lewis. He said, Bob, Bill Lewis's CD changed my life. I never had any idea what I had my hands on until I listened to that information. And I want to thank you, Bob, for having the vision. I am so fired up about this business. I could have preached for 13 years and he wouldn't have got it. He listens to one CD from Bill Lewis and he's unstoppable. I had another gentleman yesterday send me a text, and his name's Andy. He said, Orrin and I just sold for $8,800. And I said, Orrin, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, I went in the house with Orrin Woodward in my mind, and we made a sale together for $8,800. He said, I can't wait till tomorrow because I'm going to listen to Chris Brady, and Chris Brady and I is going to make another sale. I just had to send this out because I'm so excited. I wish I would have thought of this years ago. But from a businessman's point of view, from a profitability point of view, this right here could be the best investment, not only in your own life, but in your company's life. I challenge you to get involved. I challenge you to digest your heart, your soul, your head, everything into this system, and then share it with the people that you have influence over, because it will not only change your life, it will change their life, and it will change the company's life. And together, we will become world changers. Thank you.